39 Mile. If you utter that name around these parts, it may conjure visions of ancient fire or distant memories of intrepid prospectors and killer grizzlies. Save for local geologists or frontier historians, only the residents of this often overlooked valley might understand the deeper knowledge, writ large in the cracks and fabric of these rocks, what we now know to be the remains of a major volcanic field. A once restless expanse of lava and ash, shattered and reborn in deep geologic time. Today, 39 Mile paints a picture of the larger volcanic region of these Rocky Mountain highlands. In a less deeper history, one that a homely human like myself might be able to ponder, these hills have felt the presence of the native people. A hunting and gathering ground long before miners or prospectors staked a claim to the wide array of mineral deposits deemed worthy of excavation. Furthermore, the mountain has provided for a dramatic series of events to have played out, steeped in lore and tall tales of frontier adventure and dangerous encounters. The legend of Old Mose, the scourge of 39 Mile, persists here. Old Mose, the great cinnamon grizzly bear that terrorized the countryside in the late 1800s. What nightmarish fate could be in store for an innocent wayfarer like myself on an undefined path, confronting a bitter winter night alone, amongst such a monument of magma against stone and beasts of barbarism? It is right in the middle of February right now, and this is about the mildest winter I think I've ever had since I've moved to the state of Colorado. We've really just gone without very little snow this year. As you can see around me, this whole entire area should be completely blanketed. There's just kind of swells here and there of snow that's not very deep at all, and kind of concerning. But the flip side to that is we've had many beautiful weather days. In terms of, as you can see today, just a perfectly bluebird day. So today I am in the Pike National Forest and a very specific mountain range called the 39 Mile Mountain area. The first objective is to get to my campsite for the night. I'm hiking in about 3 miles or so to a spot that I've scoped out in the last couple weeks, and I think it's going to be really cool, work out really well. There's a water source there. Forecast over today and tomorrow, it's going to be pretty sunny and nice, but very windy. So hopefully I can find a good little nook in this little area where the water source is. I'm going to go ahead and set up, just take my time, and got a lot to explore out here over the rest of today and tomorrow. This area is not very well traveled. I'm on a trail right now, but it's not a marked trail, and was able to find it by doing some research on the internet. I've had my eyeball in this place for quite some time, and just about an hour and a half away from where I live, and had never really checked it out or explored it, knowing that it was pretty, not so much remote, but just not traveled. Not quite as picturesque as, say, like some of the higher peaks in Colorado. 39 Mile Mountain is only about just almost 12,000 feet, a little under there, so it doesn't really get quite above tree line. There's not anything spectacular looking, visually speaking, when you look at the mountain from afar. What it doesn't have in visual appeal, it definitely makes up for in its sort of geological significance and also some of the history here. This mountain and the other 2 mountains surrounding it is basically a remnant volcano, and the rocks out here are really quite different than anything I've ever seen in some of the other mountains of Colorado, whereas, you know, the higher peaks are basically just giant slabs of rock that have been propelled through the earth. I've plotted out one particular objective that I want to try to get to today. It looks like sort of a peak, and really just get up there and check out some of the rock formations and see if we could find some mineral deposits, which this area should be rich in. And we can kind of take a look at all those and hopefully find some different examples that we can discuss. Then I'm going to spend the night tonight and I think it's going to be getting pretty cold. We are kind of in the dead of winter, even though it doesn't look like winter right now, other than just patches of snow here and there. Temperatures tonight to be lower to mid 20s. The wind is probably going to add on to that, so we'll see. But yeah, pretty excited about it. And then we'll wake up in the morning and we'll actually make the trek up to 39 Mile Mountain, where I've got some stories to tell and sights to see. Should be a really enjoyable, albeit cold, night out in the wilderness. And I can guarantee you that I'm going to have this entire place to myself. Expecting that this will hopefully be another fun adventure here in the wilderness in the Pike National Forest near 39 Mile Mountain. All right, here I am at the campsite, and I think I figured out where I'm going to put my tent. Really trying to just get it out of the wind as much as possible. Here's my water source. I don't know if this used to be an area for equestrians or something like that. I'm assuming that's what this was for. Last time I was here, the water was flowing pretty constant, and here I am today and it's still flowing. So that's very reassuring to have that resource here. And it's sort of got this open field out here, which will be cool to go walk around once it gets dark, get some views of the stars. And it's kind of a little nook up in here. Looks like it used to be kind of like a ravine or something like that, but it appears to be pretty dry. And I think that this is where I'm going to go ahead and get set up. Right down here, right in this little grassy spot. Looks pretty dry, and no dead trees around. All right, it's about 2:30. Always takes a little longer than I expect to get out there, get set up. I think I left my house about 9 o'clock this morning and I got on the trail about 11. So it's about 2:30 now. Probably just gonna chill for the rest of the day. We only got about 2.5 hours left of sunlight and don't want to be rushing anything. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and have some lunch and then maybe go head up the trail a little ways, check some of the area out, and get up in the morning as soon as the sun comes up, and we'll go up to the 2 peaks that I have planned to go climb tomorrow. Not going to be doing anything technical or dangerous. I mean, this is mostly going to be hiking, but it is going to be a bit of route finding as there is no trail. I basically plotted my own route to get up the mountain. So that should be fun, trying to find our way. But right now, it's time to chow down. I've got some peanut butter and banana sandwiches, and also have a medley of trail mix and pretzels. Definitely looking forward to this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just enjoy the day. So this is the kind of geology I'm talking about that you'll kind of find out here on the 39 Mile Mountain. You know, a lot of this area, the old trees, ridge lines, just an open parkland that you'll see. This was all a hunting and gathering ground for Ute bands, like the Tabawash. They camped along the forested drains along here, and they used the high passes long before any miners staked any claim to this location. Like in this area, the Ute would gather, they would be on the lookout for chert. They would use chert for tools, and also the rock mica, they would use that for reflective signal mirrors because of the shiny properties to the rock. This whole area is sort of like a small mining district. Just the mining opportunities just in this area due to the volcanic activity just produced a lot of different types of resources. Anything from copper to lead, zinc, mica, feldspar, and even gold and silver could be found in these hills here. But this right here, I really wanted to kind of just show it because this is just completely volcanic material, and exactly what these hillsides are made of is what essentially this giant caldera spouted out millions of years ago, and this is what we see all around this region. All right, so here we have our route. So we're going to be heading up through this way, and this peak is going to be my first objective tomorrow morning. It doesn't have a name, but it looks really cool. It's kind of in the shadow right now, so you can't see it. It's kind of a big rock formation up there. I'm going to go kind of through here, up and around to the other side of it. Check that out. And then just beyond here, there's two other mountains. There's the Black Mountain. We'll be able to see it from up there tomorrow. The Black Mountain, and there's Wa Mountain. And all three of these, including 39 Mile, all comprise a volcanic field, where essentially this is all three ancient volcanoes. And these volcanoes shaped this whole basin and essentially left this entire bed of minerals for prospectors and miners to come and explore later on. The bulk of these hills and these mountains that we're going to see, it's all made of dark volcanic breccia and lava. This volcano erupted roughly 35 million years ago. So when you see the ridge, when we get up there, we're essentially going to be looking at sort of a giant caldera in a way. In terms of mining prospectors out in this area, it's the same volcanic forces that built the mountain here and also cooked minerals into the cracks and seams of these hills. So when the miners came out here and explored, they're really chasing the leftovers of all those old volcanic eruptions. Wow, the wind has just completely cleared out. It's just so quiet out here. One of the things that's nice about coming out to places like this is I don't have to worry about grizzly bears. Now, we do have black bear here in Colorado, but as far as we know, there are no known grizzly bears in the entire state. But it was a different story about 120 years ago in the late 1800s. Grizzlies were actually pretty well established in Colorado. It's a pretty famous hunter, modern day hunter named Adam Greentree, I think his name is, who alleged to have come across a grizzly out in the San Juan Mountains, which is like southwest Colorado. He's even got video of it. But that's the only most recent kind of case that I've ever heard that they're actually here. I don't think that they are. Of course, I rarely come across even black bear out here, much less grizzlies. But grizzly country, definitely a whole other ball game, and would make doing things like this way more difficult than not having to worry about them. So it wouldn't be a Future Ruins video without some tall tale to tell. Definitely some interesting lore as far as this area when it comes to grizzly bears. I'm talking so much and don't want to miss the way I came in. One of the most famous stories of the surrounding counties is that of Old Mose, a massive grizzly bear that was feared in the late 1800s into the early 1900s. People believed Old Mose hunted anything that walked. For years, the bear roamed the foothills of 39 Mile Mountain and Black Mountain nearby. The bear terrorized prospectors, ranchers, and their livestock. Over 800 cattle dead and multiple human maulings were credited to the beast over time. One anecdote involves a skeleton of a man found here on 39 Mile, with cowboy boots and spurs that were chewed through. Along with missing people reported in the larger region, the legend spread and persisted in the lore. Lonely miners, cold winters, and ashen memories. As the wind picks up, I swear I can feel the ghostly presence of the old bear myself. In 1883, a hunter named Jacob Radliff was said to have been mauled to death by the killer giant on Black Mountain, the adjacent mountain to my location here on 39 Mile. The hunter's scalp was torn off, face clawed, and multiple broken bones, then left for dead. His last words to his fellow hunters were, "Boys, don't hunt that bear." The bear was given the name Old Mose for its tendencies to mosey and wander around the region. Other local hunters often tried their hand at hunting the elusive beast and often failed to trick him. The local lore states that the beast could snap necks with a single bite. In 1904, a local rancher named Wharton Pig became obsessed with taking down the beast and is credited for giving him the famous name that endured. Pig hunted Old Mose for years and was long unsuccessful. The beast once escaped a live trap set by Pig and lost 2 toes, which permanently disfigured its paw. Prints of the mangled paw would implicate the beast in livestock killings and the aforementioned skeleton found here on 39 Mile. Pig even attempted to poison a cattle carcass in hopes to trap the beast, but Old Mose was cunning enough to sniff out the trap and evaded the toxic dinner left for it. Pig eventually teamed up with another seasoned bear hunter named James Anthony. The duo eventually tracked down and cornered the beast, and with the help of a dog pack, shot him down. At 8.5 feet and over 1,100 pounds with 6-inch claws, the duo finally claimed their trophy. Anthony and Pig found fame in nearby Canyon City with the carcass, and is the subject of this infamous photograph. The whole event marked the last documented killing of a grizzly bear, which allowed the legend to endure. Much later, it was determined that multiple grizzly bears fueled the myth of Old Mose, as another massive 1,000-pound grizzly was taken down by a hunter named J.J. Pike right here on 39 Mile Mountain. Other incidents followed. Over time, stories conflicted as to the grizzly bear that was actually responsible for the terror. Still, the prospect of gigantic killer grizzlies here in Colorado, it's no wonder it still mystifies the locals at large, given the complete absence of grizzly bears here in modern times. Perhaps the barbarism of the bear of fame was due to the species slowly disappearing as extirpation increased radically in this region. Some speculate that the bears that comprise the legend of Old Mose sensed their forced extinction and fought back against the human interlopers to their own grisly ends. Still to this day, the spirit of the old bear is present in these hills, and if you listen in silence, you can still hear the bone-chilling roars of the benevolent beast, poised to return to the place it called home. Good morning. Squirrels are saying I should probably get up, so I guess it's time to get up. I'm cold. It was a cold night. Really don't want to get out of my sleeping bag. Whew. Slept pretty good. Just kind of in and out. Alright, I'm getting pretty close to that peak. You can see behind me where I came from. That was pretty rough. I didn't film anything coming up that. Gonna have to take a different way down, I think, because I veered way too far to the left coming up here. But I'm almost to the ridge, and then I'm gonna dart right up to that peak. Yeah, there were some pretty tough little snowfields to negotiate through that. Just a lot of deadfall. It wasn't terrible, but definitely got a little hairy. I wish I would have veered further that way and then kind of split across, which is what I'm trying to do right now. So it's about 10:30 now. All right, so I made it up to the first objective, and I severely underestimated how difficult that terrain was going to be coming up. All right, so this is the 39-mile peak right over here, and as you can see, I'd have to lose quite a bit of elevation to get down and back up over it. There's this really big snowfields and pretty steep areas with a lot of downfall of trees, just hard to navigate. I'm sure there's a lot of cool stuff to see up there, but as you can see, it's, you know, kind of just a forested peak. It's not going to really be a whole lot different than kind of some of the terrain that I've seen. Just connecting with the fact that I'm sort of on the precipice of an ancient caldera volcano. The coloration of these rocks are quite different than anything I've ever seen. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking this is old bristlecone pine. You can kind of tell by the sort of gnarled bark, the way that it looks here on the side. So we can see out here, that is Black Mountain, where Old Mose was supposedly sighted and killed. And past Black Mountain, we can see, I'm pretty sure these are the Swatch Mountains over here, and then we start to see the beginning of the Sangre de Cristo range out there. And there's Pikes Peak right there. It's about 11 o'clock right now, so I think I'm gonna just kind of hang out for a little bit. And this is gonna be it for me today. Don't want a chance trying to make it all the way over there. It's gonna take quite some time, and the day is rolling by. So I'm pretty happy with this though. Very cool area, very cool geology. I can't really film too much going down, just like when I came up, because it's just really kind of tricky terrain. I'm pretty tired actually. I was kind of just in and out as far as sleeping last night. It was a pretty cold night. Just kept waking up and having to kind of shift and get warm. Yeah, the route coming up here was pretty rough. I'm going to take a little bit more of a direct path straight ahead and kind of roundabout to get out of here. I took the incredible view in one more time before departing the lonely summit, but not before capturing as much of the assortment of colored rock as I could, knowing that this particular ridge near 39 Mile could be an area of geological study in terms of its stratigraphy and role in regional tectonics. No doubt, you have to work hard to get close to it. I wondered if the highest point has more of this. Undoubtedly, I'd have to find a way up there eventually, since it would not be today. In the meantime, I still marveled over what I had discovered here on unnamed peak in 39 Mile. A geologist or volcanologist I am not, though resourceful enough to at least get a baseline layman's understanding. The purple, gray, brown, and black colorations we see here are known as andesite, and are the basis for the steeper ledges in this area, and often what we see off in the rolling foothills. The andesite rock is essentially the building blocks of the mountains here and surrounding ridges. It was formed by the mudflows and lava domes from the prehistoric eruptions, which reached as far as the Florissant fossil beds, not far from here to the north, where gigantic sequoia stumps were petrified, fossilized, and still exist today. Venturing further down the ridgeline, I stuck to my plan of a more direct descent before veering right, in hopefully easier terrain. Here, I found what I believe might be referred to as Wall Mountain Tuff, these spires of brownish-reddish rock with iron oxidation. This may be the coolest thing I've seen all day. Wall Mountain Tuff isn't unique to this area, as we see it dotting the foothills all over the region. But its conglomeration with andesite is that much more impressive here. To even catch a fractal arch in the rock as we see here was pretty special. Looking further up the rock pile, I wished I had more time in the day to climb and explore this little piece of rugged, unmarked wilderness. But alas, the descent was gnawing at my patience. And knowing I still had to get down, find and break down my campsite, the already increasing fatigue set upon me again. And the dismay of not getting to make it to the 39-mile summit started to nag at me too. But as we wary wilderness travelers often have to tell ourselves, the mountain will always be there for another day. I also wondered, had I skipped this particular area and went straight for the highest point, would I have discovered anything that could top this? Making my way further, it seemed there was no easy way down. I eventually just let gravity take over as I trudged down the steep snowy slope until it shortly leveled a bit and made for a bit easier descent around the right side of the mountain as I had planned. Here you can see the terrain for yourself, albeit less steep than the way up. Oh. Alright, I'm not going to go that way. Guess I'm going to have to go this way. As I made my way back to break my campsite, I started to wonder about the indigenous people that once called these hills home, long before old Mose wreaked havoc upon the land. The people roamed here for thousands of years. I was a little disappointed to not have found any evidence of them. The Ute bands, such as the Muachi, the Caputa, and the Tabawash, the Arapaho, the Cheyenne, the Comanche, and the Apache. More than 40 contemporary tribes have historical ties to the larger region. As they were largely undocumented, what stories did they have to tell? Perhaps these volcanic rocks were indeed their future ruins. As John Quincy Adams allegedly once said, "We understand now, we've been made to understand, and to embrace the understanding that who we are is who we were."